Hi all, and welcome to today's webinar focused on our new leadership dashboard. We are delighted to have you all with us today. My name is Luzanne, a Customer Success Manager here at CardioLog Analytics, and today we will introduce our leadership dashboard, which is a real revolution in data analysis and actionable insights. Firstly, let's get some logistics out of the way. Please feel free to submit your questions throughout the presentation via the Q&A feature. I will address as many as we can at the end of the webinar. We are also recording this webinar and we'll share the link with you all after the event if you want to share this with a colleague, perhaps. Now let's dive in. In regards to the agenda for today's webinar, we'll start out with a very short introduction. I'll talk a bit about CardioLog Analytics and who we are. Then I'll jump into a presentation of CardioLog Analytics Leadership Dashboard and other reports to show you how those reports should be leveraged for SharePoint in order to get the best insights and actionable data for improving user engagement, activity, optimizing content, and enhancing overall SharePoint site management. And as I've mentioned, at the end, we will have time. We'll be taking some Q&A, so feel free to send your questions throughout the course of the presentation. So just a quick introduction. CardioLog Analytics has been providing analytics for 365 for about 19 years now. We started back with SharePoint on-prem and grew with Microsoft to the cloud. Today, we track everything from SharePoint to Teams, OneDrive, Viva Engage, formerly known as Yammer, and so on. So just a little bit about our vision as a company. This slide shows our evolution. Our goal is to help our customers constantly improve SharePoint based on how it's being used. The four main pillars we talk to our customers about are monitoring activity, which is tracking the usage within SharePoint, and Microsoft 365 platforms with in-depth intranet analytics, insights, and usage reports. Our customers realize that understanding usage analytics is often simply not enough. They wanted a way to take action based on the insights gained from monitoring their portal usage. And then enhance. We want to make sure that we are constantly improving SharePoint and Microsoft 365 based on these pillars. The idea is to have actionable metrics which will allow us to constantly make SharePoint and Microsoft 365 better for our users by increasing corporate productivity and improving portal ROI. And the final pillar is incentivize. We can turn that data into a game as well. So instead of just the admins owning the data, we can make sure those end users have access to the data and can see how they compete with their colleagues, get points and coins, and we conclude by seeing how we can turn that raw data into exciting gamification and leverage that within our organization as well. So welcome to our webinar, Automated Insights, CardioLog Analytics, Leadership Dashboard for Comprehensive Data Analysis. I'm very excited to introduce our Leadership Dashboard, designed with direct input from our customers. It really is a real game changer in how you analyze data and get those actionable insights. This isn't just another report. It acts as a strategic tool that highlights growth opportunities and offers practical insights and recommendations. Instead of digging through multiple reports and figuring out which metrics matter most and manually comparing different date ranges to spot trends, this dashboard simplifies everything. It includes pre-analyzed data, effectively doing the heavy lifting for you. Another great feature is the ability to impress your management or leadership by exporting these insights that we'll run through in just a second into neat PDF or PowerPoint formats without any groundwork on your part in the analysis. So let's dive right in and see how you can leverage this dashboard to make a significant impact with minimal effort. Starting with this top section. This area of the report focuses on visitors. You can find out the percentage of employees that are visiting your sites and how that differs from last quarter. Are more employees visiting your site this quarter, or were your engagement levels better last quarter? This is answered for you right here, and immediately you can find out that 2% more users visited your sites this quarter, and that's how you'll know if you are doing better or not. You can also change the filter above to compare month to month or year to year. Understanding your users and what interests them for increased usage is important. While we already know which audiences are using the sites the most, as well as those who use it the least, those are top and bottom users, what you can see reported here is the growth potential, an untouched piece of the pie of users that could be visiting your sites more. Right here, we have listed the content that users from the bottom segments were most interested in, and we know that by targeting these bottom audiences with content their colleagues are interested in, it can increase your portal engagement by up to 144 monthly users. You can select which audiences you would like to focus on. In this audience filter, for example, if you want to view this data by department or office or location or any other attributes you added to CardioLog. If we have a look at this section, after you do take action and start to target those specific audiences with the content of interest to them, you can easily then revisit this data to see if the action you took actually did help to increase the engagement levels for that audience. Now we know that, for example, this quarter, users that were targeted in, let's say, the financial department or the finance department visited the sites 2.8% more than the previous quarter. Scrolling down to the middle section of this particular report, we show you insights about activity patterns to help you understand how well the portal is performing. At the end of the day, leadership wants to know if users are engaging with the portal as often as intended. Here you can see that users visited the portal 1.5 days a month and spent 0.53 hours in the portal, which has increased by 98% compared to last month. This insight is crucial as it helps determine if enhanced engagement strategies are needed to boost visitor retention or improve content relevancy to encourage longer visits. If you want or need to analyze this data further, you can have a look at our active and inactive users report. The active and inactive users chart breaks down user activity by department, helping identify departments with higher rates of inactivity. For instance, by selecting, like we saw earlier, the finance department, we can explore their specific engagement metrics, including the depth, that is the average amount of pages opened during each visit session for all users, as well as the duration of visits, and identify both the highly engaged as well as the less active users, those inactive users, within the specific department to know who is not very active. So you can target those who need more training, who need more support, and improve their adoption rates. This can also help us identify which departments are most active within SharePoint and which departments are lagging behind to help us identify where we might need to focus some more of our training efforts or encourage more user interaction instead of taking a one-size-fits-all approach. Back to the leadership dashboard. Let's focus on content. And what topics are gathering more attention and which topics are trending. Taking this visual, while you already see in your existing reports the most popular and the most viewed content, how this report differs is that you can now see at first glance which content is increasing in popularity over time. So basically, what content is gaining more traction than it was before. Take this content, we see that it attracted 8% more users this month than when it was initially published last month, which is really powerful information if you want to see if our efforts and content reach is improving and effective. You can choose to focus on specific types of content, whether it is documents or news articles. It can be filtered here. For instance, if you are publishing news articles and aim to broaden their reach by promoting them through weekly newsletters, you can refer to this top trending report to verify if your efforts are effective in attracting more viewers to these articles and to monitor any growth. Additionally, you can track the impact of your newsletters, specifically by observing the successful campaigns visual. This shows which campaigns brought the most traffic to your site and can therefore tell you how many visitors who read the news articles were directed there from your weekly newsletter. In this report, we can see that for each piece of content, how many times it was viewed directly and how many times it was viewed through a campaign. In order to create a campaign, you can simply add a parameter to the news article URL, which is posted in Viva Engage or sent via email, for example, that describes your campaign so that CardioLog will track where people are coming from to your content. Similarly, by analyzing trending search phrases, you can identify which topics or terms are gathering interest among your visitors and tailor your content to align with these emerging trends and increase engagement and visitor retention. We have more report pages in each category to analyze the data even further. For example, in this usage overview report, which is designed to give a high-level overview of how the portal is being used, we can understand content trends over time, what's the most popular content, inactive content, and so forth. And we can see that right here, I have a list of the most popular content or items in SharePoint, which helps us understand what we can really focus on and what actions we can take. If I'm putting this table into focus mode, by default, we are seeing all of our most popular content based on these page view numbers. Also, we can see things such as when it was last viewed, how much time they spent viewing it, how many unique users viewed this content, and even who created the content and its size. This is really powerful information because once you know what's popular, you may want to link that to your SharePoint homepage. So this page, for example, is really popular. So instead of people wasting time searching for it on your site, you can quickly make a link to it on your homepage because you already know that is what is most popular among your users. You can even go a step further if you already have a designated space for quick links or links you believe to be commonly used, and this feature becomes even more valuable because now you can verify and ensure that these links truly are the ones receiving the most engagement. We can also flip that around, showing all the inactive content. So that's the content not being used or hasn't been viewed at all, whether it's sites or documents or pages. In terms of navigation, to get a deeper understanding of the flow of user navigation from the most popular pages or specific pages that you are interested in, you can see how users typically arrive at a page and also their journey thereafter. Here is how that'll work. By selecting a page URL, this report now dynamically updates to show the navigation paths associated with that page. This means that we get a very clear picture of the user behavior and then understand both how users land on a particular page and where they head to next. And this is incredibly useful for making those content placement decisions. Back to our leadership dashboard. As we come to the end of this webinar, I'd like to summarize what we wanted this report to deliver to you. The leadership dashboard saves, as you've now seen, significant time by eliminating the need for extensive data analysis and decision making. We now generate these insights for you, meaning that you no longer need to ponder over data and you can present these findings directly to leadership. Whilst, as I've also shown, it does not replace the out-of-the-box reports or the need for detailed analysis that you can get from them, it does aim to replace the time-consuming process of generating these insights on your own and provides a clear understanding of the bottom line for those who need very quick answers. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to hear it. So I will now go back to my slide and let's check if there are any questions that came through during the course of this presentation. I see that I do have a question from Trudy. What is the licensing for this? That's a good question, Trudy. So the license is a yearly subscription based on the number of users we'll be tracking. That is a yearly CardioLog Analytics SaaS subscription. I have another question here from Maria. How does deployment work? So what is really neat about this tool, it is designed for SharePoint, so there's no need for customization when you want to deploy. With our setup wizard, you can get it up and running within an hour or so and already start to collect data and start to utilize this amazing leadership dashboard. And then I see I have one last question here from Tabo. Great dashboard, but if we need different metrics, is this customizable? Another very good question. If there is, for example, something missing in this report that you consider essential, remember that, like all our reports, this is customizable. Also, when you edit the report, you can add any metric that you would like or that your company would like. So those are all the questions that I have. From my side, we have a free trial as well as a proof of concept for people who want a longer evaluation or people who want to try more environments and more features versus our free trial, which is quite limited. So please do reach out to us and we can share more information about what is included in each. You can visit us at intlock.com to book your free demo or your free trial of any of the solutions that I mentioned here today. And for more information and helpful tips, you can check out our blog at blog.intlock.com. For more information, you can contact us at info@intlock.com. And I will wrap it up then. A huge thanks to everyone who joined us today and sent in their questions, and we will be sending you the recording in a day or two so you can rewatch or share with your colleagues. Thank you very much and goodbye.